Is prioritization all that important for product managers? Of course, that's a bit of a rhetorical question. As a product leader, though, I've been asked countless times how to do it effectively. So today we're covering a topic that causes untold anxiety for product managers and product teams, but a topic that is critical: prioritization. We'll cover some advice from Steve Jobs. I'll share a time that prioritization almost made me quit and how I got through it, the importance and power of prioritization, and how to do it effectively. Are you ready to get your product on? People think focus means saying yes to the things you've got to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the hundreds of other good ideas that are out there. You have to pick carefully. Steve Jobs. As a product leader, I'm often asked, how should we prioritize what's on the roadmap? This is an important and near universal question that in reality has two parts. First, what should be prioritized and why? And second, what approach or framework should we use? For product managers, prioritization is loved and hated, critical yet risky, a source of tension and frustration. No wonder it's frequently recognized as one of the hardest parts of the job. Who enjoys saying no, after all? Not me. I definitely second these feelings. Love, hate, risk, tension, and frustration. Prioritization is a pain and a drain, but it also happens to be one of the most important decisions a product team makes. Prioritization and product success therefore go hand in hand. Making matters worse, there are a seemingly endless number of ways to do it. It's as if the founders of product management thought about making the job simultaneously difficult and confusing. Thankfully, at least the goal of prioritization is universal. Pick the most important outcome and feature to focus on that drives the highest value in the shortest time for the lowest level of effort. Simple, right? Cue the eye rolls. So how do product managers handle the stress? Some days, I hated my job. It felt like everyone was chasing me with pins out to pop my balloon. Of course, this is the wrong attitude toward a job, but I couldn't help it. Upon reflection, as a mid-level product manager, it came down to saying no, feeling like I was always disappointing someone, and feeling forced to prioritize what we put on the roadmap. Every meeting where I needed to make a decision and set a priority felt like a fight with design, engineering, marketing, sales, stakeholders, and ultimately customers. A fight in which the play was frozen until I made the call. Being in that situation, it really sucks. It's like being a referee for a FIFA World Cup championship match. No matter what you decide, certain players will disagree and argue their case, and one team, along with millions of fans, will always be unhappy. Everyone providing input, everyone on edge, yet that's exactly what I needed to get comfortable with: making the call. So that's exactly what I started doing. I'd leave the meeting and decide. And that pissed everyone off, a real no-win situation. Then I realized something. I wasn't aggravating the team by making a call. They just didn't understand why I made the call I did, how I decided on the priority, and why I couldn't do it in front of the group. At this point, I realized three important things. First, I needed to share why I made the call I did and what drove the decision. More on this in a bit when we discuss the goals of prioritization. Second, I needed to share the framework I used. At first, I didn't necessarily have one, but ultimately landed on one that is often used. Third, the decision needed to be made in the open. I needed to be transparent and invite debate. Great, more meetings and arguing. I also thought about a story that was shared with me at a recent product training session, the story of Kodak and why prioritization was critical. I'll recap quickly. Despite being a pioneer in the photography industry and holding a vast portfolio of digital patents, Kodak failed to prioritize the transition to digital photography effectively. This reluctance stemmed from a fear of cannibalizing their highly profitable film business. While Kodak did invest in developing digital technologies, including digital cameras and photo sharing, they did not fully commit and prioritize these innovations, allowing competitors like Canon to dominate the digital side of the business. Kodak's hesitation and misaligned priorities led to its inability to capitalize on its advancements, ultimately resulting in the company filing for bankruptcy in 2012. And I didn't want to be the next Kodak. I needed to get my act together and prioritize. A terrifying thought and a ton of pressure. Game on. How could I prevent my company from becoming the next Kodak? Without prioritization, you don't have a roadmap. Let me say that again. Without prioritization, you don't have a roadmap, at least one the team can realistically deliver. So what's the goal of prioritization? What's the why behind what gets picked? When it comes to the roadmap, prioritization ensures the most critical outcome and feature with the highest value that works within a given constraint is developed first. This happens by number one, aligning the strategy, ensuring the roadmap aligns with the company and product's overall vision, goals, and strategic objectives, ensuring that every effort contributes to the long-term success and competitive advantage. Number two, maximizing value, ensuring that the items selected for development provide the most significant benefit to the users and stakeholders, addressing critical needs and solving high-priority market problems. And number three, optimizing resources and constraints, efficiently using the available resources like time, budget, and talent by focusing on the most important and impactful work, avoiding waste on less critical or low-value tasks, and optimizing around the constraints. Okay, so how do we accomplish this? So this is where my opinion diverges from that of the hardcore prioritization disciples, all of whom have what they consider the right method. The short of it is there is no right method and no perfect framework. Instead, product managers should choose which method best aligns with their company, product, team, and constraints. As a more analytically minded individual who prefers quant over qual, I tend to lean towards the RICE method of prioritization, which of course gets a lot of criticism. But as a refresher, here's a quick summary of the four methods. RICE stands for Reach, Impact, Confidence, and Effort, a quantitative prioritization framework that helps product managers evaluate and compare different initiatives. The Kano model, which categorizes product features based on customer satisfaction and functionality implemented. Moscow, which is an acronym standing for must have, should have, could have, and won't have. It's a prioritization technique used to help stakeholders understand the significance of initiatives. And finally, Value versus Effort method, which is a prioritization technique that evaluates potential features or initiatives based on two key factors: the value they provide to customers or the business, and the effort required to implement them. It's more of a visual approach that helps product managers and stakeholders make informed decisions about resource allocation and feature prioritization. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, here are a few considerations that can help you choose. Note, my goal for this section is to help you decide which method to use, not to teach you how to use it. Some of those hardcore prioritization disciples I mentioned have excellent resources available on how to apply each one. First, when it comes to the complexity of the decision or product, I find RICE or Value versus Effort work better for complex products with multiple features and user segments. For simple decisions, a straightforward method like Moscow might suffice. When it comes to market maturity, for products in mature markets where user expectations are well defined, the Moscow method might be all you need for maintaining and enhancing core functionality. Second, stakeholder and customer involvement. Stakeholder preferences. If stakeholders have strong opinions and varying priorities but are collaborative, a transparent method like Moscow might help manage expectations and align priorities. RICE or Value versus Effort, however, work better in politically charged environments or situations of significant disagreement. Customer feedback. The Kano model can be beneficial for products where customer feedback is critical, as it focuses on customer satisfaction and identifying features that delight users. The third dynamic is team dynamics and resources, team capacity and skills. If the team has limited resources or varying skill sets, the RICE or Value versus Effort matrix can help balance high-value, low-effort features to optimize productivity. Decision-making style. If the team prefers data-driven and analytical approaches, well, it's pretty straightforward then. RICE or Value versus Effort. Fourth set of criteria are strategic goals and objectives. Alignment with strategy. If the primary focus is on aligning with strategic goals and objectives, methods that consider business value and strategic alignment like Value versus Effort are advantageous. In situations of innovation versus maintenance, for products focusing on innovation, the Kano model helps prioritize features that delight users. For products needing maintenance, the Moscow method ensures essential features are not overlooked. And the last set of criteria, but not the least, time constraints and urgency. The need for speed. If you need to identify and implement high-priority features quickly, the Moscow method provides a straightforward categorization that can be rapidly applied. However, when it comes to long-term planning, the Value versus Effort matrix allows for a more nuanced evaluation of features in longer-term planning, balancing short-term and long-term goals. Again, there is no perfect method, and sometimes you need to use two. Of course, experience is also important. If the team is familiar with a method and it has proven effective, stick with it. And here's two final points. First, don't constantly change your method of prioritization. You need to stick with it for some time to determine if it's working. Constant shifting will drive the team crazy, negate your ability to compare past prioritization to current, and create an opportunity to question your own priority. Second, you can use more than one method. There can be a primary and secondary. And if you do plan to change your method of prioritization, plan to run the old and new in parallel for some time to solve for the challenges mentioned in the first point. Considering these factors, you can choose the prioritization method that best fits your situation and goals. Prioritization, it evokes a number of emotions, yet it's a critical skill required to create effective product roadmaps and drive product success. But it's not just about making hard choices. It's about making the right choices given the context and constraints. While it may be challenging, embracing prioritization as a core part of your role will lead to focus, a more productive team, and better outcomes. And remember, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to prioritization. The key is to choose while consistently and transparently applying a method that aligns with your product, team, company, and business environment. There is, after all, again, no perfect method. As you refine your prioritization skills, you'll make more informed decisions, align stakeholders more effectively, and ultimately deliver greater value to your users and your business. So take the time to master prioritization. It's an investment that will pay dividends throughout your career. Your company, product, team, and users will thank you. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, subscribe, and drop us a comment.